Hey everyone, welcome to So What Do You Know About Business, episode number 6. So excited. We are now entering December. It's crazy. As always, thank you so much if you're watching us live. That's awesome. We will take your questions. I don't know if we'll be able to get to them. Actually, I don't even know if I turned Q&A on today, so that's not even possible. But the Facebook group is always going, so join us over there you can do bit.ly/nobusiness. Get in on the Facebook group. We're always talking. I know I have something I'm going to be posting today to show you based on what I'm talking about. So come join us over there. So it's 5 o'clock here in Dallas, which means it's happy hour, so let's go around first and talk about what we are drinking. So, Chandra, I'm going to start with you.
I am drinking red wine, and I don't even know what kind. I just grabbed it.
Awesome. As long as it's
I do know. It's a Bordeaux, but I don't know what the label is. So I usually like Margot's, but yeah, I just grabbed and went. I am Chandra Achberger. I am in the midst of a total rebrand, so you can find me later today at ChandraInc.com and still have at Moxie Moguls and all that good stuff. Happy to see you guys. It's been a week and a half.
Oh, it has. I was wondering why it felt so long. All right, Megan, you're next.
Hi, everyone. I'm Megan Flatt from meganflatt.com, and I am a business coach and time management consultant for busy moms who want to grow their business while still being active for their kids. And you guys, I'm just going to own up to it. I'm a total coffee addict, so I'm probably never, it's 3 o'clock in California. I have to pick my kids up from school after this. I keep saying I'm going to be drinking, but the truth is I'm always going to be drinking coffee. If I have the excuse to have a second or a third cup of coffee at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm going to take it. So got my latte going right here in my inspiration mug.
It's okay. The last thing I want you to do is get a DUI with your kids in the car because of the show. So there's no judgment, okay?
It's for my job. I had to have a glass of wine.
Exactly. That is not mandatory. All right, Taylor, you're next.
Hello, I am Taylor Stevens. I am a day jobber and side hustler. And the professional side of me is a freelance writer and marketing consultant. But if you listen to the show a lot, I drink a lot of water. And I always feel like I do my wine Wednesdays before the show. And last night I learned, so I had Cupcake Red Velvet. I don't know if you ever had that red wine. But I don't even know if I can really drink red wine anymore because it's like a sleeping pill. It's like the best sleeping pill ever. So I really can't drink wine on these shows or else I'd be falling asleep. But today I choose water to hydrate.
Gotcha. That's what margaritas are to me. I will have one margarita to go to sleep. All right, Andrea, what are you?
I thought you meant margaritas were like water to you.
They can be.
No, that's me. That's me.
They can be. All right, Andrea, what are you up to?
We do live in Texas, so anything with tequila is pretty much water. I am having Pinot Grigio today, and Megan, I think you should have a cocktail because it would make Carline way better.
That's true. Good point.
And Andrea, what's your business too?
Oh yeah, I have a business. I have takeasmartstep.com. I am a small business financial coach where I help you increase profits so that we can get those profits out of the company and into outside wealth.
All right. Very cool. And I'm Erin Smith. My company is the Starters Club. I'm super paranoid. I just had a smoothie with spinach in it, so I hope I keep licking my teeth. I feel like Kobe Bryant right now. I'm drinking Shiner just because it's literally the last beer in the refrigerator. I didn't have time to go.
And every Texas household must have
some
Shiner in it.
Exactly. So that's what I'm drinking. It's not that great, though, to be honest with you. I think it might have been in there a few months too long. I don't know. But anyway, all right. So this is now the roundtable where we tell everybody at least one lesson we learned in business this week. So I'm going to stay with the same line. Chandra, I'm going to go with you first. Tell us something, anything that you learned specifically this week in your business.
I relearned that I like to buy domains when I'm procrastinating. I own 91 domain names. It's an addiction. It's DNA, domain name addicts. It's a group that I'm going to start. But no,
Do you own
seriously,
that domain name?
DNA.
Domain name addicts.
I know, but I should. Um, no, well, in all seriousness, I tend to, it's just like when you're first starting out and you need like the colors need to be perfect and the logo needs to be perfect and all that stuff that just like it's going to change in 7 months, like because I'm going to get tired of it. So it doesn't matter. And there is something to be said about a name. My name is super difficult. It's Chandra Achberger. It doesn't get more, hard. So I do have chandraachberger.com, but I do want something easier as I'm trying to just basically make this hub where everything that I do can be under one umbrella, and I can essentially it can grow with me. So whatever I start new, and I can have courses, and then also I've realized that I went to a conference this summer. It's a World Domination Summit, and
I want to go to that.
I've been 2 years in a row. It's a lot of fun, and one of the, Live Your Legend, I was at one of the meetups, and Live Your Legend, they were like, oh, what do you want to do? And like my first reaction was, I want to have a network, right? Like my own, basically like a TV network, but I would love it to be like this round table, right? Of people that are better than me at stuff. I know a lot of people who are good at what they do. And it's really important, and I think a lot of people just get lost in the sea of the BS of the internet, of the people that are just trying to take their money, and they're good people out there. So I would love to just have an umbrella where I can say, hey, look, this person is awesome. Like they are offering this, this, and this, and basically help people out. So I'm trying to grow that and think about it. And I bought another domain name today, and I'm just going with it. And unfortunately, I let a Twitter account that I've had for a couple of years go, which was Chandra Inc., and it's like totally closed out, and I can't access it. So I learned that too. So that was a bummer.
Do they not let you reopen it, or that's crazy? I didn't know that.
I think somebody hacked into it, because I looked it up like at Chandra Inc., and then it's like all old things from 2013, and I had gotten control of it like years ago. And there was some like totally different language, and somebody obviously was abusing it. So I didn't check on it at all. I mean, because I just have so much stuff that it's like hoarding files. So that's it. And if we're gonna choose a tool, my tool of the week is Remind.com, and that is basically it's a teacher to student and student parent tool, but I use it for free SMS marketing, basically, building lists. So lots of stuff all over the place. But
well, I like the Chandra Inc. thing. I really like that a lot. I think that sounds awesome.
Cool. Thanks.
Anyone else? Anyone else have domain hoarding tendencies? I do. I'm horrible about it.
I just wish I had enough money to buy all the domains that were in my head and not feel guilty about it.
What cracks me up is how, and this is the same way my husband and I were talking about, is there a little feedback for me? Are you guys okay? Sorry. My husband and I were talking, domain names are relatively inexpensive, but, and the same with like apps on your phone. So like I just bought an app that was $3.99. I'm like, whoa, $3.99? You never, and I kind of feel the same way with domains. Like there's always a coupon code, or there's always something. So if you actually have to pay $12 for a domain, it's like blasphemy,
Oh, I have some .cos which are like 24, and that's so
that's like crazy. It's so expensive.
It's no bueno. But I did just find out also, and something else I learned, that .wtf is now an extension.
I also think that .ninja is a new extension now.
What?
Ninja. I just saw.
Yes, .ninja.
Let me say, if somebody sends me to a website that's .ninja, there is no way in hell I'm going to that. Like, that is annoying.
Yeah.
Unless they really are, like, if it's Chuck Norris or
If
something,
you're
I will go
actually
there. That's it.
That is
I'm
funny.
just supposed to keep URLs. Like if I have it for more than a year and I don't use it, I'm like, I'm done. I can't have this. It's costing me too much money.
Yeah, you're a financial whiz, though. I'm like, I am not. I'm the opposite. What's the opposite of financial whiz?
It's too much overhead. I got to get rid of it. Although, here's a question for you, because I've been contemplating this. Do you own your children's domain names?
Mm.
And Gmails, yes.
See, I've been thinking I need to go buy hisname.com.
Well, my last name is really, Ochberger is not like, it's just
That's
not.
me too, Trevelyan. Just going to steal the last name Trevelyan. Oh my God. But you have their Gmail and their URLs.
I have their Gmails, and then we have like our family domain, and then subdomains with their names. So now I can do endless subdomains. So you can do that too, right? Like if you bought like something Trevelyan, and then you can just do add a subdomain at no cost. So sorry. We could talk domains all day. I know it's boring everybody else.
No, this is like the new parenting world. It's kind of like scary. Not only like, okay, so now you have to own your child's domain names because you don't know what could go on online. Like, that's ridiculous.
Well, no,
You have to keep them alive and buy their domain names. That's
Yeah.
He wants to be an entrepreneur at some point, and his domain is already gone.
Yes. It makes it easier for them not to stalk them. I mean, we already know how to do that.
I know. I'm just saying, like, it's crazy.
Everyone else hasn't planted a microchip in their kids?
But no, that's a
Sure
great
happens
point. 'Cause my son started his first quote-unquote business when he was 5. So I think I need to go out and do that tonight. I'll splurge on the URL.
I'm putting it on my notes page.
Search online for a coupon. There's always a coupon code.
I wish this was done in the 90s. This would have really helped me out.
I know.
Yeah.
My parents suck. Especially Erin Smith. I mean, they could have jumped on Erin Smith so, like, when the whole internet came out, and now I'm screwed.
Yeah.
So, I don't have Erin Smith isn't available. I got to figure that whole thing out too. But all right, Megan, you are next.
All right. So I'm gonna follow Chandra's example, give one thing I've learned, and then I'll give my app of the week too. So I've been really struggling this week, and I realize it's actually creeping into a couple of different things. As I realized I was struggling with it, is, as entrepreneurs and as service providers, there's this line. Or is there this line? We want to provide value for our clients, and if we're creating a program, or we're creating an offer or a blog post or whatever it is, we want to pack all this content and all this value into it. And then at what point are we overwhelming our audience? And not to mention overwhelming ourselves to have to create that. And that's something that I was really kind of freaking out about last night. I'm in the very beginning. I'm at the beginning of a launch, that's something I'm launching here in December. And last night I brainstormed out all of the pieces of content I have to create in the month of December, whether it's for a for guest post spots I'm doing, whether it's for my own blog post, whether it's for the free content for my launch, whether it's the stuff that's in the actual product. And then I had this feeling that I had to have 14, because there were 14 spaces on my brainstorm, that I had to have 14 different ideas and 14 different pieces of content. And I was completely overwhelmed at having to create all that. And, so I was talking, I am in a mastermind group. I was in my mastermind group this morning, and one of the women she said, I'm thinking about the tissue box example here. And so I was like, okay, tell me what the tissue box example is. And she said, when you open a brand new box of tissues, of Kleenex, and you go to take the first one out, and the box is so stuffed full with Kleenexes that the first one rips, and you can't get them to start popping out, and you end up having to take out a whole chunk and kind of throw them away because it's just overstuffed. And then you can start pulling the Kleenexes out one at a time. And she said, that's kind of what you're doing. Like, you're cramming so much in that people can't even get one thing out. And it was such a like it was such an exhale for me, like, oh my gosh, you mean I don't have to create all this stuff? I don't have to come up, I was telling them what all the actual pieces of content were, and she's like, those could all be paid courses, those could all be their own. But we get into that mindset where we want to provide value, value, value. We don't want anyone to think that it's not worth it. But the flip side of that is we start to overwhelm people. So the tissue box example, like, just think about how lovely it is to go to you need a tissue, you go, you pull one out. And it's just easy. That's when we're delivering our content and our information to people, that's what we want it to be. We don't want them having to struggle to get what they need because there's so much stuff crammed in there.
Yeah, less is really more, and I feel like that applies in a lot of areas, but especially for this. And I know that people that give out a lot of like PDFs as part of the program or just a lot of content like that, yeah, your subscribers will download it, but I know from personal experience too, I don't really go back and look at that. I just take from the stuff that you said either on the webinar or something that really stuck out that was just really simple but made a really big impact.
Right.
And that increases the value. I mean, actually, like a good teacher is someone who can like simplify a concept, a complex idea, right? Instead of, and a lot of times we think of, we think of just like, okay, we're going to be charging more, or we're going to be charging for this, and this is going to be like my most expensive course, so I'm going to give like 33 modules, right? Because people want the value. The value. Anybody can find anything that we're talking about or anybody else is talking about for free online, period. That's not news, right? Like, it's just the value that we provide for whatever it is that we're doing is that we have already condensed it, looked at it, simplified it, and then we give it to them, and that's what people want. They want easy, and it is. Even though I want this couture t-shirt that says more is more, because that's like how I live my life. It really isn't, right? Like, less is more, and we really need to wrap our heads around, like, okay, I'm going to be charging $4.97 for this course. I need to give them everything. It's like, no, the people that are going to pay for that know the value of their time, and that is the most important thing, right? Like, it's like time over money, and that's what, if that's what you're saving them, then that's the value.
Exactly, and the funny thing is, I think you guys all know, I love Post-it notes, and so this product that I'm creating is actually how to plan using Post-it notes. And so once I started thinking about this simplicity piece, it's like, oh my gosh, with all our apps and our software and our this and our that, like, Post-it notes are so simple and they're so low tech, and so what I'm delivering, like, I can't get complicated with it because it doesn't even fit the message. So. But I think it's just a reminder, we want to provide that value. We want it, and sometimes we just pull back and, take a deep breath.
No, I struggled with this
which I'm really excited about. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say I struggled with this because you want to just be the gift that keeps on giving, right? And then all of a sudden you've probably gone the opposite way of delivery because you've overwhelmed them. Sorry, Taylor, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say I'm really excited about your challenge, Megan. I think you should post it in our group. I actually signed up, and I have yet to find some Post-its, but it's going to feed right into what I learned this week. So
great, great. And I'll just throw out there the app that I know I'm way behind the times on this one, but because I'm doing an Instagram challenge, I'm getting a little more Instagram savvy, and Word Swag. Oh my gosh, that's going to be my new time waster. I just sit and make little graphics on my phone now with the app Word Swag. So I'm obsessed with that and the podcast serial.
And we can all look forward to the meme course that we're going to give over at No Business, right?
You can just use Word Swag to create all your memes.
But you need Will Smith. I'll get into my learning, but you need Will Smith.
Will Smith and Word Swag, and you're set up for life.
You are like the most popular person on the internet. All right, Taylor, you're next.
Yeah, I am not having any luck finding those Post-it notes, but I will find them. I have a couple days.
Yeah, you have 4 days.
So actually, like I was saying, my learning for this week is what Megan is actually going to do, an Instagram challenge. And being a part of the yoga community on Instagram, first of all, it's amazing. And just Instagram being a place for community, it has evolved so much, and just a way to connect with people that is just insane, insanely good. And what I have learned is that they're really, the people that are doing challenges on Instagram, and I'll give you an example. So I'm doing this yoga challenge. It's called Just Be Present. So use the hashtag Just Be Present for every day. So every day of December, before the challenge starts, they have like pictures of the poses that you do for each day, and you use the hashtag Just Be Present when you post, and you tag the people that are hosting the challenge. So there's this one, there's two Instagram users. One is Kaino Yoga and the other one is Beach Yoga Girl. So they're the hosts, and with each Instagram challenge that they do, and what other yogis do on there, is they have sponsors. And the sponsors are brands or like yoga legging merchandisers, like Aloe Yoga is one of them. They have another, like they have, you know, food merchandisers that are in line with the yoga community. So something called like Booty Box. So really healthy like products. So what I have loved, and like what just came really clear to me, like doing these challenges the past couple of days, is it's an ingenious way to market, because and the products are totally exposing themselves to their perfect target market. They're not really having to, you know, yell at you. It's just not like marketing how it used to be, where you had to just really amplify your voice as much as you could to try to get your message out there. It's really, no, like, we know you like us and you'll like our products because you're in this community. Like, here's your chance to win a prize. So when you post, there's prizes to give out, and not only are there prizes for the challenge, they actually have like special discount codes for Instagram users. And so the thing is, you have to follow and tag the hosts and the sponsors. So not only are they getting your attention with the challenge, they're getting in your feed too. So I just think it's a really brilliant way to market, and it's just taking mobile marketing to a new level, but also riding that wave of, you know, it's not about yelling and screaming who I am and look at me. It's like, no, I'm here and I think you'll like me, and this is why. So it's a really fun way to get involved.
So did you say you're running a challenge?
I am not, but it's giving me some ideas. I'm participating in the challenges.
It is a really cool thing to do, and I just was on not just a couple months ago. I was on Go-To Girl marketing and networking, and that's what I talked about for an hour with her. It was all about Instagram and how much I love it for that particular reason. Well,
the challenges.
The challenges, but it's just a different level of market. It's a totally different kind of marketing. It's not loud. I am finding a lot more noise than usual, but I've been on Instagram for a long time, and I mean for as long as it's existed, so I'm finding more noise than usual. However, it's still where people go, because there's no like links or anything like that within it. People do go there to find out about their brand or the person that they're following or the life or whatever, you know. So I have a really wide array of followers on Instagram, and it's always interesting to me on how diverse it is, as opposed to on Facebook, where I really am friends with like just my friends, and then if people want to follow me, they can follow me on my page, on my personal page. But I like Instagram for that reason, and I have done challenges, and I use, and that's why I started using Remind.com that I talked about earlier within my challenge, and it totally grew my list, and I can send them any link and prompts and anything, and it goes straight to their cell phone instead of, you know, it's SMS marketing for free. So I really like that combination.
I have a question. So do you think it's actually businesses saying, hey, look at me, I have something to offer, or are we finally getting smart about the value, hashtags, and challenging people? Like, have we found out how to work the system, or has the marketing approach really changed?
I feel like it is more, I mean, Marie Forleo calls it modern marketing, and I feel like it's really authentic. And that's how I feel personally, like being involved, and it's giving me other ideas too for businesses to really take advantage of this opportunity of Instagram and marketing on there and giving away prizes and getting people engaged. But I really, it's all about engagement and getting people. I don't know if that answers the question, but that's how I feel.
And it is, I mean, if you are interested in marketing, which probably most of us are, on Instagram in particular, anywhere really, you want to follow a couple of fitness people who jive with whoever your crowd is, because they are on the forefront always for marketing ideas and whatever they're doing. And if you want some type of new idea for a challenge for anything, fitness is the way to go.
I also find that, because I actually have my fitness people I follow and I learn from, but I also find that fitness is really, really, really easy to adapt to the new visual front. Adapting an article about what market capitalization is to Pinterest.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, and that's, so it is hard to sell a story about finances, but that's why it's hard to market as well, right? But everyone wants. But everyone does want to live the dream, right? Everyone wants to either travel or live on the house on the hill or whatever, and that's not hard to sell, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's why most of my pictures are with the other. Most of my pictures are like the ocean. Like, I got you to look. Now come look at this.
Now you got to work for that ocean.
That's true.
All right.
No, yeah, just really opened me up to just the fitness thing has it going on already, but there's a lot of opportunity as well for businesses, and that's why I got excited, Megan, when you were saying you're running an Instagram challenge, because like it's a smart thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's my first one. It'll be my maybe next week. It'll be my what I learned in business, because it's my first one. So I'm kind of I'm figuring it out as I go too. So I was taking notes as you were talking.
Very cool. All right, Andrea, you are up next.
Excellent. Well, I feel like all of my learns are always repetitive. They're like the continual learn ones. But sometimes as an entrepreneur, you have to be reminded of them. So the thing that I've really been reinforced with this week is when you are a solopreneur or even a micro business owner or have a virtual team, whatever, you have to make it a point to get out and interact with other people. Like, you have to leave your house. I guess unless you're like extremely introverted, but I'm not. And I get into these zones where I'm like, okay, Max is at school, now I have to do this, this, and this, and this. I don't have time to leave the house and go to a networking event before I get to this. And I just kind of had one of those aha moments. It's like, you know what, I'm more effective and I'm a better entrepreneur when I do go and interact with people and network and socialize and whatever. So it's, you can't do everything alone, and you can't be alone constantly. Otherwise, you get in your little bubble, and there is no reality. And so my networking event today was the perfect example of this. And I was up for my little thing, and I got drawn out of a hat to have an extra 5 minutes. And I'm like, I'm not working on anything right now, but do you guys have questions about finance? And the question that came up was, well, what do you do to run your business finances? And it was the most simple question, but it's one that I've never contemplated because it's just so secondhand to me. So it took going out and interacting with other people for me to go, oh, you literally just want to know how I do my bookkeeping. And they're like, yes. I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is how I do it. So you got to get out there. and you can't stay at home by yourself.
What do you use? No,
okay, well, I always have to pre-emphasize all of this with I picked my softwares way back before apps and cloud computing and all of that other stuff. So I use QuickBooks. I sit down every Friday and I run my QuickBook numbers and I look at my P&L and all my finance numbers. So I have actually been playing with FreshBooks. I signed up for a FreshBooks account because I wanted to experiment with their invoicing. And I have to say I'm really impressed because you can use credit cards with FreshBooks without actually having a merchant account. Like they kind of set it up all for you, so there's no minimum fees. It's pretty much the same cost as PayPal, but I know there's people that hate PayPal. So FreshBooks is kind of that like middle ground where it's the PayPal benefits of there's no fees, but it's not PayPal.
So Andrea, and I think you're saying both, but I want to bounce the question back to you. Do you feel like it's important to leave your house for business reasons or for kind of like mental health reasons, or both?
Both. All of the above. Getting out in touch with real humans. And even if that's not like a networking event, if that's not your thing, like going to a conference, like going to World Convention Summit or whatever. And then I also think on the personal side, I just really think you need, it's kind of like, when you have a job, you go to the water cooler or you go to lunch. Well, when you're a solopreneur, you don't have that.
Right.
So like I had kind of habit of doing it. So like I reached out to some friends. I'm like, let's do lunch, let's do dinner, and then added some networking events so I could kind of round it out and not just be, not my only destination is no longer the elementary school. Now I've got multiple destinations.
It makes you a better parent too. I mean, and it's, yeah, I'm running into that this year with the homeschool. I mean, like we're just all home all the time. It's not.
Well,
it's
and for
not,
me, it also.
And I know that. I mean, like you just know that you're just home, and it's not healthy, because you just get these new ideas from just going outside and interacting with other human beings besides your spawn.
Well, and I know, at least for me, like my spouse has a job, and so like he comes. He's like, I just want to be home. He commuted. He did the whole work thing, and I'm like, adult. And so when I do go out, like even our relationship is better because I can just be like, oh, I've already had this. Now it's totally normal.
I feel, not to sound like a hermit, but But I also, in some ways, and maybe it's, it's finding the balance, right? Because I actually feel like because I'm sitting at my computer and I know my business friends are sitting at their computer, I often have, IM chats going on with some of my online friends who are in different states, different countries, and it's almost much easier. I feel like I communicate with many of them daily, if not, many times a week, whereas my live girlfriends, my live friends, it's harder to find a time that you can pick up the phone and they're available. And not that we don't still do that, or not that we don't have girls' nights out or go to networking events or all those things, but I actually feel like my internet connections have kind of broadened my social scene. That sounds so pathetic when I say it out loud, but I just feel like I actually am in contact with more people because I can quickly IM chat them, or I can, hey, do you want to jump on a Google Hangout real quick and just talk through this with me? Like, I feel like I do that a lot too. Not discrediting what you're saying at all, but I do feel like I get that from my online friends too.
I agree, but I do think there's a difference between, seeing somebody online and seeing the person. Like, just to use the people right here, like, Erin and I, will chat online, and then we'll meet for coffee, and it is actually two very, very, very different interactions.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and your brain triggers. I mean, your brain function completely changes when you're face to face with somebody.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just like human nature. And but I also, I think the reason why we can do what we do is because we have these relationships and businesses and everything else that
Right.
has been brought to you by internet.
Right.
You know?
Well, and like, so you go to conferences and you get out and you get to actually see the people that you have the internet relationship with, and that actually just makes it even stronger.
Yeah, my husband definitely has to kind of push me out the door sometime, for sure. I'll fully admit, I'm doing like the newscaster thing today. I put on a shirt, still wearing my pajamas. It's 3:30. I still have my pajama bottoms on. My husband took the kids to school today. I've been sitting right here since 6:45 this morning. So, and I may or may not put on real pants before I go to pick up my kids. You'll never know.
I just think it's making the effort, because I know last year my resolution, and I didn't do it as well as I like, was just to get out and just meet with a friend once. You know, because I think even working from home, you just get so caught up in your life that even just meeting up with you, you're busy working. I could make an excuse to never leave my house in the next 4 years because I have so much work to do. So it's that interaction, and I'm a huge networker. I love to go out networking, and even last night I forced myself, you know, it was 7 o'clock. I'm like, I'm tired, forced myself, and I'm so glad I did. It's friends / work / met new connections / you know, who knows if I'll get business out of it, but it's just that whole... I think things.
We're created
a perfect
to
way to summarize this. I think a good way to summarize all of this, especially for women, you know, who get caught up in the whole child running business and everything, is my best friends, the people that I call for anything, like the ones that would be there at a drop of a hat, I met at networking events through business.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's.
I was gonna say we're created to be in community, and I feel like that's why we feel so strongly about meeting people in person and connecting in person, because it's just a different way. It's just a different energy that you get. And I know me personally, because when I do my freelance projects at home and I'm like have the day off, but doing that, working on my day off, I get kind of depressed because I actually really do feed off the energy of people.
Yeah, and I think everybody has their different levels, but we are created to, I mean, it's in our DNA, right? Like to be tribes. That's why like the whole like buzzword of tribes happens, but like, you know, we just like, that's why Facebook exists, period, because we communicate like socially. But yes, in person, I dig it. Sorry.
Well, no, but the only problem with Facebook is that then you sometimes don't feel like you have to talk to somebody because you're like, I saw pictures of your kids, you're good. Yeah, I don't need to talk to you. I just stalk you on your wall. We're good. Our relationship is great.
I have my 20th high school reunion coming up, and I'm like, I kind of know what everyone's doing. I don't need to drive 5 hours. No, I'll go. I'm just saying.
All right, well, I'll segue into Facebook since that's what we are talking about, because I don't. You guys will soon learn. So first of all, I have to apologize on this because something is jacked up on my settings where it's not popping up the people who are talking. So for the first 20 minutes, it's just me. I'm sorry. I'm not that vain. It was an accident. So then I had to like manually pop up everybody as they were talking. But anyway, so I get obsessed with things. So I start thinking of, I'm like, okay, I'm going to try this. So I went to 10X, talked about that last week, and one of the things was he taught us that we should get into post boosting, which is interesting to me because I've spent the last week really looking at a few Facebook experts, and I'm always like a little like a Facebook expert with only a couple thousand likes. I have a hard time with, it's like, how expert-ish are you if you can only get, you know what I mean? Anyway. So a lot of them are like, never boost a post because it's just useless. But I will say that I'm learning a lot that it's very valuable. And I've been able to grow. I'm running several different pages now and have been able to look at my numbers. And it's not just to pay for like, but it's, it's going viral. Like it's spreading the word about me. So I'm getting, like we talked about before the call, organic reaches, whatever. So, but what's interesting to me, and I'm going to put these pictures in the group because the whole Facebook 20% text rule, which I know very well from running ads, it is a complete crapshoot of what's going to get approved. So I will put up like 90% text post, And that one goes through and does amazing for me. And then I do one that might be 25%, and it gets rejected. And there is, somebody's like, is it gray text? They like, usually if it's a gray background, you have a better chance of it getting approved. Is it bold? Is it, I don't even know, but it's so random. And I have been trying everything. Like, I did a bunch of pictures with it. I just think it happens to be the kid sitting behind the computer that's like, yeah, that one's good, I don't care. Versus, I really think that's all it is. And so I haven't learned anything because I'm still like, what the hell is it? Like, what makes this go through? And over Thanksgiving, because like I said, I run several different pages, I'm boosting from all of them. Got almost everything rejected during the holiday, and then Monday went back to getting everything approved. I don't know. I don't know if it was like computer generated because everybody was out of town. I just don't know. So what I have learned, and I was telling you guys this before the call, Will Smith. Just put Will Smith on. Swear to God, I'm joking, but I'm not joking about this. But Will Smith with a Will Smith quote. I saw this on my Instagram. I have an Instagram, and I had Will Smith a quote that just was like, whoa, everybody loves this Will Smith quote. Like, it's so crazy. So then I'm like figuring out memes, and I'm like, I'm gonna put a picture of Will Smith with a Will Smith quote. I did 2 different ones on 2 different pages. Both of them just flipping went viral, like with barely any money. So it's been crazy. Yeah. But I have one real quick. I have learned one thing too about it was that it'll take time to get it approved, but they'll still run it for you. So if I have a good hunch about one of the things I'm gonna put up, what I'll do is throw a ton of money at it. So it's been about, you get about a quarter of the way through your budget before they reject you. So I'll like throw like a big dollar amount at it, knowing I'm not going to get through it all if they deny me, and then I can see if that particular one's catching fire, and if it is, I can go back and change the picture and try it again. But you do have a little leeway. So I'm like, here, go, 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 go. And an interesting thing I found out last night is don't start your post at night to run for a day, because you won't reach as many people. Even if I had Australia, I had the United Kingdom in there, so it would have been running like on a day course. The amount of reach was probably a quarter of what it is when I start it first thing in the morning. Just little things like that. So super interesting, and I have an app too, real quick, because I know I learned about this. My friend Lisa Duty did a thing this week, and she taught for the anybody who's a blogger, but podcasters especially, a plugin for your WordPress site called Evergreen Post Tweeter. Do you guys know about this?
Mm-mm.
No.
So what it does is you set it up on your website as a plugin, and then you say, from this particular category, I want you to post, or you tweet. It'll tweet. So it'll go through your content and grab, like for podcast episodes, like I can say every Monday I want you to go randomly grab a old podcast episode and throw it out on my Twitter. So it's a great way for recycling content. So
that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like I spewed a lot. Jay-Z is not as popular as Will Smith. That's another lesson I learned this week.
What's Erin, share? What's your new Facebook page?
So I have inspiring entrepreneur quotes. That's one. And then I'm doing a whole health thing too. It's I'll get into that probably in a couple weeks. But so there's a couple other ones I'm running that are health. Now there's a few other entrepreneur ones. I'm trying to start with free Kindle books and free apps, but I'm still getting my if this then that algorithms down in order to be able to do that one consistently. So cool. It's a lot of work.
I found this week actually on Facebook, speaking of organic reach, and so I found that on my pages, my Instagram, I just reset up like to photog her. I've kind of let that go a little bit since I stopped the Instagram challenge, and I just set up an IFT hashtag. If I hashtag photog her, it goes straight from Instagram straight to my page, and the picture goes up, right? And I made a mistake, and I didn't see it up there, so I also posted the same picture, and I didn't boost it or anything. And by far, instantly, the picture that came from Instagram got like reached 25 people in the first minute that it was up. let alone the one that I just posted straight from Facebook got nothing in that same amount of time because they just kind of came up together, and I was actually surprised. And then so for the past couple of days I've been tracking it, and anything that's been coming from Instagram, from IFT, because it creates basically a native, it says a native picture but in an album, it gets a higher organic reach. So just in case anybody wants to try that, and if anybody wants the recipe, I'll put it up in the group.
It gets a higher organic reach on Facebook, you mean, after it pulls it from Instagram?
Yeah. I was
Interesting.
surprised because you see it on. I saw it on the page, and I was just like, okay, the fluke, and it's been 4 days in a row now where it's been that one post. It's the prompt for a photography challenge that I'm in that comes up, and the one that comes up from Instagram, it gets more organic reach by far.
It's so interesting.
Yeah.
I never would have.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed it. I mean, it was just by a total fluke that it happened, but it's obvious because when I post straight to the group, and I'm also I'm not consistent with that page at all on how often I post. I've kind of let things go. So when I post straight to it, though, you would think that it would have a higher organic reach because I'm posting natively right into Facebook, but it's higher from Instagram.
Well, and that's what you always hear. Native Facebook is better than from another source.
Maybe because Facebook owns Instagram.
They do, but it shouldn't be. I mean, you would think but the algorithms are what they are, and they'll change next week. But it's working right now, so I'll post the recipe, and maybe people can use that as well. So,
awesome. Well, I know we're running out of time, so as always, the conversation always keeps going out in our Facebook group. I know I'll be posting out my things that I've learned nothing about, but you can laugh at them if anything, and everybody else can post their stuff. Always, you can come find us at bit.ly/nobusiness. We're getting all set to go out on iTunes and Stitcher, everywhere else, too, to get the audios up, so very excited about that. So join us again next week, 5 o'clock Central, and we always send out the links, but check us out at Google Plus for the Hangout. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see y'all next week. Thanks, girls.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.